Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then for the late night whistle, and tonight we're going to discuss the Birmingham City game. A win for the Foxes again, back-to-back wins, and the Mighty Pies just getting started at the King Power. We've got a lot to discuss, a lot of players to discuss, and what a performance against Birmingham City on the Friday night. And we went into the weekend happy, and yeah, big 3 points, as it says in the league. Everyone get involved. Let me know your thoughts on everything we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss some transfers. Josh Murphy. We're going to discuss a few other players, including Eric Smith. We've been linked with bloody 3 Swedish players of the last 24 hours here. We're going to get involved in all that. Caleb, how are we? Phil, hello. Results gone our way this weekend pretty much. Makes Friday wins. Yeah. Tribe, hello. Hello, Azza. Hello, Wilby. Tom, how are we? Transfer madness coming soon. Honestly, Foss Hub has linked us with about 653 players this week. Will we get one right out of 100? Who knows? All right, Jack. Better ask Rudkin. Tom. Evening, Paul. Birmingham were pretty poor. Helped us get the victory. J&M, Jake, how are we, pal? Hope you're good. What a great win. John, hello. Tier 1 is the source linking us to the right back, by the way. Fantastic. If you've got a name for him, Fossil, if you can stick his name in there, we will discuss him. Fossil, how many more are we going to get in before deadline day? Jack, can you tell us more about the fighting in the Birmingham end? I've seen a video. I've not seen much more of it. So there's not much more I can really say on the matter, mate, because I didn't really see it myself. So, right, evening, great wins. Stavro, how are we, mate? Hope you're good. I reckon 3. Foss Hub working harder than Fab. Well, someone's got to do the work. John Rudkin is very much in overload regarding the work. What we got, 2 days left of the window, and yeah, exciting stuff to come probably. Can we get a few players through the door? That's a big question, but we're going to discuss Birmingham City game first. A big win for the Foxes and a huge 3 points. Let's get Dan in. Dan, how are we, mate?
All good. How are you?
I'm good. What's the light target for tonight?
I would say, with it being a Saturday night, I would go 60.
Right, 60.
We'll see how many we've got in, because we want it. I like to go on a basis. We need at least 60%. So we'll see what we get in.
Evening, Wayne. How are we, mate? Hope you're good. Dan, let's get into it then.
That's it.
Leicester City, 2-0 winners against Birmingham. The fight, the work ethic, the togetherness, and a committed performance. Talk to me about 2-0. Actually, before that, I've got a video I want to share of a certain Birmingham fan who gave it me before the game.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying we're going to nick it 2-1. Damari Gray with the winner, 87th minute. And he's going to celebrate, run to your corner flag and kick that down, bro. That's what he's going to do. You understand? There's levels to this game. This ain't the same Birmingham you played before. This is a different Birmingham now. We're going to destroy Leicester. You heard it here first.
Let's see what happens.
A few moments later.
Shut up, bitch.
There we go. There we go. He gave it before the game.
He did. He was giving it large.
Talking about.
Yeah, he was giving it large.
The voice factor Kearns, yeah. Foss Hub, Clibo said 4 to 5 is his secret sauce with 3 on loan. Evening, how are we? Julian Carranza is another one. We're going to discuss him, Mark, very shortly. But let's get on to the game itself. Leicester 2, Birmingham 0. What a night at the King Power and a big win for Leicester. What do you take from
that? Lots of positives, to be fair. It wasn't still our finest performance, not by a long way, but at the same time, it was the first game of the 4 that we've had so far where we've strung 90 minutes of a consistency across the board, playing wise, which was good, as opposed to how we've been in the previous ones. Been absolute doggo in the first half, and then had a rocket by Marty in half time, and then come out and got at it a bit. So whereas this time, like I say, from the off, always helps getting a goal inside the first 10 minutes, because that sometimes shows the lads that their hard work it pays off early doors, and it gives them the lift, which they shouldn't really need, as professional sportsmen, but they seem to. Some good performances from players that have taken a lot of
criticism.
Yeah, that's it. But justified criticism at the same time. But when somebody plays well, I will say they played well. And both Skip and Sumari, they were very, very good. The closing down that they done for our first goal after we'd given it away, and Birmingham were on the break. The pair of them absolutely chased them down, done their job, won us the ball back, set us off, and got us going again. So you can't argue with that. Even Vestergaard, we're
going to need about bloody 50 players then, aren't we?
I was going to say,
outside Seagrave at this point.
Yeah, that's it. We'll be like the new Chelsea. We're the Championship Chelsea. They'll be changing in the away changing room or something at Seagrave. But no, Vestergaard was an absolute wall, and along with Okoli, his passing was atrocious. I mean, like one of his passes nearly hit us in the side where we were sitting last night, and it was supposed to be going to Abdul, missed him by a mile and nearly smacked us lot. But but like I say, loads of positives. Even Daka, when he came on, all right, he's still not getting the goals, which is what his main job is as a striker.
Yeah.
But he's hustling and harrying. He's closing down. He's ball to Monga. He's 1-2 with Monga to set up the goal. All those sorts of little bits that get ignored a lot, because as a striker, your job is to score goals. That's what you are. That's what you're judged upon, not anything else. But still, the rest of it, other than that, but hopefully that, I know we keep saying it, but maybe it will come. Maybe it will come. We will see. But yeah, good performance, great building block, still bits to improve on, but yeah, it's heading in the right direction by the looks of it, finally.
First off was about starting off well, getting going, getting that first goal were crucial for Leicester, which is this one.
Come on, Abdul.
I mean, if you rewind that before that goal, you see what you spoke about.
Yeah.
Birmingham were on the break. Samara, Skip, absolutely harried that Birmingham player to winning that ball back. And then it all comes from that. And then Louis Page picks it up. gives it to Abdul. And I say to Birmingham fans before the game, don't let
Yeah.
Abdul put in on that left foot because he'll put
Absolutely.
it. He did.
Yeah.
Fantastic finish by Abdul. He's come back stronger. He wants it a lot more. He does turn up in the big games. We needed him last night. He showed why. First off, a bit shaky on the ball at times, a few little sloppy moments. But
absolutely,
one man that I do want to discuss is this man, Hamza Chowdhury. He proper laid it on this man.
He most definitely did.
Which he laid it on him. Good challenge, by the way. But Hamza was really getting stuck in first half.
Yeah.
He let the Birmingham players aware that he was there. And I think he had a cracking first half. He was probably my best player in the first half, to be fair. Second half, we came out. It was how we would come out again and really take the game to Birmingham. We upped the tempo a lot more. We showed a lot more fight, a lot more commitment. Samare was shoving players on the floor. Skipping Samare was doing well in that midfield. For we were getting man. Akoli and Vestergaard, brick walls at the back, absolute tanks last night. Luke Thomas were a lot more resilient. I think you look at Luke Thomas last night, and it was the case that he didn't allow him go forward too much. He made him stay back to stay more in position because he knew that Birmingham would hit us a lot more if we did. But Hamza did his job again. Damari Gray switched sides because he was like, how do I handle this? And then you sort of bringing on Ricardo Pereira, which is very like for like. And the players we did bring on Dan in the second half. They all played a part again, the fight,
absolutely
together. And that's what we want to see from the team, innit? That togetherness, that real team spirit. We didn't see that last season at all. But Marty's really starting to bring the culture and really getting the players slowly working towards how he wants to go about things.
That's it, 100%. I mean, it's like in the previous couple of games where people have said, Marty's the black, he's picking the wrong players or he's got to change the system to suit. Well, you don't always have to change a system. Sometimes you just need to tweak a few players' roles. And that's most definitely what he's done. He's made that back 4-5, including Jakob, solid. That's 2 games now where we've not conceded. Yes, okay, we've given chances away, but nowhere near as many as we have done in previous games. So he's not asked, by the looks of it, Thomas to go bombing on because he can't do it. He can't do both roles. He can't get forward and then get back in position. And he's not really good enough to be an attacking fullback in that manner. Unlike Ricky, which is what, again, will be a tweak to the system as we go along, and people start fearing us that little bit more. Not that they don't already, because they clearly do. Because that was something else I wanted to bring up, just in regards to their manager. And again, and it's happened the last couple of games where they've gone, we've done really well. We're a bit disappointed we've not come away with anything more. We've pressed them. We've done this. We've tried to break up their play. We've tried to hurry and hassle them. It's all been about stopping Leicester from playing. Now, they've kind of done that, but just not good enough with the individuals that we have who can unlock anybody and score goals like we have done in the last 2 weeks. And that's the bit, because players' concentration will only last so long as the game goes on with things like that. They'll be thinking, I can't keep closing these down and getting knackered here. I'm 60 minutes in, I'm 65, 70 minutes in. Players' brains start switching off then. Yes, that's where managers earn their crust and that's where they make their changes. But if they're not replacing them for the same sort of quality, which in this division you don't get, it's not like the Premier League, where if you're changing somebody like for like, you are getting literally like for like, in quality wise. Whereas in the Championship, you don't get that. So they're not as good, and it takes them a few more minutes to get into the game. And that's where we can start exploiting stuff And that's where we really did on that second goal. You know, a couple of players switched off. Mongo actually found some space because he wasn't getting a lot of change.
Yeah.
He found the space, little 1-2 with Daka, decent ball in, and there's the main man, Ricky P, to stick it in the back stick like we've seen him do many a time.
Great finish.
Oh, yeah.
You know, them substitutions worked a treat. Ricardo did his job. Dan, I want to bring up one thing for you before we look at Ricky P's goal. The supposed red card incident.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that? Obviously, if it was in the Premier League, they'd have checked it for VAR, wouldn't they, and had a good look at it.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you sort of, because Birmingham fans sort of berated that decision last night by the referee, what was your thoughts on that?
It's one of them. It is high, but it's the fact that it's on a follow through. So it's one of them. If you get away with it, it's great, and you go, we've got away with one. And if he did get sent off, you'd go, okay, you know, fair dues. I'm not going to argue with it either way. So, as I say, sitting on the fence slightly because I'm saying we've got away with it a little bit. But for me, if I was Chris Davis, I'd have been quite disappointed in the referee there. I know that's another thing where they keep going, oh, you know, we could have won that if he'd have been sent off. Well, hang on a minute. You had about 2 shots on target. Where all of a sudden are you going to have got all these attempts?
Actually, Dan, they actually had 1 shot on target throughout the whole game. They did have 11 shots, by the way, but like I say, you've got to be able to break teams down. And last night, brick wall. Leicester didn't allow them that there. But what sort of fan were Birmingham were? They'd go sideways, backwards. Leicester press from chase them down, with them under pressure. When you start doing things like that, they make mistakes, which led to obviously Jeremy Mongo getting it there, fullbacks. You know, the way he just does that cross for a 16-year-old.
Get out, Mongo. One.
I mean, that cross is sensational.
Yeah.
What a play.
On a plate.
To finish that, fantastic. You know, we took our chances last night when it mattered, but we played it. We played Birmingham well because we allowed them the ball, and we thought, okay, then, well, you can do the ball. Possession doesn't win you games. It's what you do with it that matters. And we were clinical with that and what we did with the ball. We upped the tempo. You know, we defended well. And, you know, 2 to the good. We needed that second goal to just really kill the game off. We got it. This guy has been good since he's become number 1. Obviously, he made that mistake at Preston. I think he's but he made a good save in the second half, Dan. I think it was from the set piece what Birmingham had. He positioned himself well and he saved it at the front post.
Yeah.
He didn't really have much to do last night at all.
No, he could have had a cigar on and got a deck chair out at some points in that game there, and still been comfortable. but yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Is that with Birmingham is that they think they're a lot better than they are. I think they think that they are going to steamroller everybody in the Championship because they steamrolled everybody in the League One. Now, I'm not being funny, but a club of their size and the players that they had, they should steamroller League One. I'm not being funny, you know, when you're playing the likes of Wickham, Rotherham, Peterborough, all those sorts of sides, you should be.
It was about, they went into the game with momentum. You can understand why their fans are bouncing and why they think they could beat everybody, because that's how you go into every game. You go into every game thinking you can beat anyone, and that's how it should be. But we sort of gave them that little bit of a reality check to say,
that's it.
well,
Exactly.
this isn't League One. This is the Championship, you know. And obviously, like different people say, we're gonna pace Leicester. We're gonna smash them. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
some of the things I saw and heard.
Say what you want. It's what you do on the pitch that matters. Let's talk about this man, Damari Gray. I mean, he did an Instagram thing, didn't he? Where he used a lot, and obviously, I think he went to Leverkusen in the end. I think he ended up in. He didn't get the warmest of receptions last night by the Leicester fans. Calling us Leicester reject, and
that's it. Yeah,
a lot. And then Chris Davis, well, I don't understand this. Like he won
exactly.
It's how you move from a football club, and fans don't forget that. This is the thing. Damari Gray, where was he last night? Have you found him?
He's in Chowdhury's pocket. He's in Chowdhury's pocket.
Because I didn't see him all game. Like Birmingham fans were bigging him. Oh, he's going to pace Leicester. He's going to get in on that left foot, and he's going to smash it top corner. And Leicester fans thought, okay, then he'll probably score tonight. Because you know what it's like when ex-players come and play against us. But he was nowhere to be seen in that game.
No, it's that. Or he's still looking for his front teeth after eating a load of turf after Hams had done him on the edge of the box there. Well, says done him. There was nothing wrong with it. He's just stronger than him.
Interesting one, resist. They ended up fighting each other in the away end.
Yeah.
Nice day of results for us.
It was.
Manny, if you want to come on and chat the Birmingham game, mate, we are going to chat about individuals. We're just he's no Luckman. He ain't no Fatah, mate. That's what you should be saying.
Yeah.
You know, plenty of possession, but no end product. That's it. Possession doesn't win you games. It's what you do with it. And they're like, but you only had 5 shots on you. Yeah, but how many did we score?
Yeah, exactly.
We scored and you didn't. It's as simple as that. You can use all the excuses of we didn't have Stansfield, we didn't have so-and-so. You've still got a team. You've still spent a lot of money on that team.
Exactly. That's it. So, you still had players there that you did want. And as well, I always have this argument in regards with stats. There's only one stat that matters at the end of 90, 100 minutes, whatever it is. That's it. It's the one that sits up in that top left-hand corner normally. And that's it. Anything else doesn't matter if you're not. You know, we had it the other week with Nathan Jones. Oh, we were this, we were that, we were the other. Mate, you lost 1-0. That's it. That's all anybody sees. That's all anybody cares about. That's all any fan cares about. It's only those that look for excuses where they go, well, we had this, we had that.
I think Nathan Jones was still crying today. He said, the FL told me that Leicester goal should have stood. Mate, why are you still banging on about that?
Well,
what does it matter now? The result's not going to change, even though you've had a little thing from the FL, mate.
Well, he's lying about that.
Because get an extra point.
Well, I'm not. Again, like I said, he's clearly lying about that. Because why would the EFL send him a letter or give him a call and go, you know, that goal that you claimed that you scored, that you didn't actually score because the ref blew up for a foul before it came in. That should have been a goal. That's if they're going to do that. What planet's he on? Buddy, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. How you doing, chaps? Good day, Ty.
Very well.
Good day for us.
Very good day.
Right, Manny, before we go on to individuals, I want to get your thoughts on the game last night.
Well, because I'm such a sad loser and the wife has taken the kids away for 24 hours to visit friends, I was sitting here bored out of my backside and I thought, I'm going to watch the whole 90 minutes again. And I did. So I watched the 90 minutes again and you know what? It's a project that you just see the start of now. Like finally everyone's in the same direction. We're closing down in groups. We're hunting in packs. We're keeping in shape. How much possession did they have? But how many clear-cut chances did they create with that possession?
This is it.
Remember their manager was Brendan's assistant, and we kind of saw that they were trying to play like Brendan did with us.
Yeah.
I think Anil said it on our channel. It was a good idea. It's like the horseshoe shape around the box. They're just trying to sit in that horseshoe shape, knock it around,
Yeah.
probing, waiting for a gap or an opportunity or a mistake, and
That's
then
it.
boom. But we didn't make any mistakes. We didn't make any gaps. We didn't leave our man. We didn't miss out a challenge. Jakob had minimal amounts to do, and he did it well when he did do. So, pleasing. What do you guys think?
Well, second balls, we were actually winning. You know, if you look at before the goal what Abdul scored, Skip and Samari. I know you don't rate Oliver Skip, man.
They charged them, didn't they? They were charging back.
You got to give some credit after last night. A little bit of credit,
mate. All of them hard work. How much hard work?
Pace from Samari. He looks more fitter, a bit more quicker,
a bit leaner.
Yeah, he looks a bit more trim. I don't know what he's done to him at the training ground, but he's sort of done something.
I'm very glad
you worked for him.
I'm very glad you made that little point about. I think it was a free kick from Luke Thomas in an advanced area. He was in the right wing. He took it. They clear it, make a break for it, and then Samara and Skip hunt him down, usher him out, win the throw-in.
Yeah.
And then from the throw-in, Mavididi comes in central because he knows that his fullback has been told to stick with him like to glue. So Marty knows if Mavididi runs into the central area and takes the fullback with him, there's a hole at the right back slot, which Skip then charges to fill. Skip ends up left wing. Now, he's in the left wing position, clearing it in, and then there's a bit of hesitation between Laird and their centre-back as to whose ball it is. But I tell you who's on the charge, brain switched on,
go on,
charging at full pace, Louis Page.
Yeah.
Louis Page he's not hesitating like their defence was. I tell you what, their experienced defenders who've been around the block were hesitating. The young kid, fast twitch brain cells. I tell you, he was on it. Bang! Yeah. Gets there, gives the ball to you-know-who, and Abdul does what Abdul always does.
That's it. He produces his magic. Goes into that bag of tricks.
So that goal is actually a collective bravo, well done to Skip and Sumare for chasing back. Skip for filling in the hole, Mavididi, even though he didn't touch the ball, for dragging a defender away, Louis Page for being on the ball to pounce on the loose ball, and obviously the superstar Abdul to finish it off. So it's a team effort, and it started off with work rate that you boys just mentioned, and how he got. And there's one last thing I'll say on it. When they ushered the ball out, the camera on Sky pans back to Sumare because he was hunting the ball back. Sumare's got a big, fat, cheesy grin on his face. When have you ever seen Sumare have a big, fat, cheesy, smiley grin? He looked like Chris Akabusi smiling like that. Have you never seen that? So if he's happy and that means he's up for it.
He's going to play well.
And who was man of the match? Officially on Sky, anyway, at least. So the key is that's a one-off game. It's easy to do when it's Friday night and the Sky cameras are in town and it's Flash Birmingham and there's a bit of prestige on the fixture. Then it's like it's like a big night out. You put your best club on, don't you? You do your hair. You put your old Hugo Boss cologne on.
That's it. Put your best on.
But when it's just a night out down the pub with the lads, you're not bothering the Hugo Boss. You're not ironing your shirt. You're not making that extra effort.
That's it.
The key feature is to try and treat it like every game like it's Birmingham Friday night at home with the Sky cameras. And that's the trick of the mind.
I've asked Dan about the Ricardo situation. See, I didn't sort of see it until I'd actually looked at it today in close vision. They said it could have been a red card. You've obviously would have watched that back in the 90 minutes you've reacted to. Did you think it was a red personally, or
no debate, nailed on red? No, it's not even in question. He's out of control. He's off the ground. He hits him around the ankle or above, full stud showing. It doesn't matter if you get the ball on the ball first because it's deemed to being a challenge out of control and reckless.
Yeah.
And the question is always with a red card. If that was reversed and that was against Monga, right? Someone charges at Monga's ankle like that. One of their players does. What are you going to say? Be honest. What would you say?
Yeah, we said the same.
There you go.
You'd be up in arms.
we don't
baying
want to
for
be
blood.
look. We don't. You get fans who say, you know, what I mean, no, it's right. Leicester get bad luck or whatever. It wasn't a
No,
red.
no.
He barely touched him. But if you're honest and impartial and fair and reasonable, the test is always if it was against you, what would you say? And it's a red card.
Yeah. And that's a
Two
great
more,
point, by the way, by Dan.
2 more weeks of getting Marty into them should be good for them. Hopefully, we're a few fresh faces just to help give them. But we're going to actually discuss about fresh faces in a minute. Manny, talk to me about your man, Jeremy Monger. The precise cross into the back
How
post.
long we got, Jack?
No, I don't think I'm ever going to do a stream on Leicester ever again without mentioning this kid's name. In every single show, because him and Abdul now are. There's a reason to look. We lost so many games last year. We were so crap every week, and our wingers were a massive problem. You know, we've got Cordova, Reed, and Ayew on our wings, and we're like, we went up with Fatah, we were with Mavididi, and now we've got these two chuggers, you know, on the wings. And what are we doing? There's nothing to get excited about, right? But when you pick up when Monga picks up the ball and you can hear it on the audio of the match, the crowd are like, because you're expecting him, you're already thinking this kid's going to do something magic here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he did.
And he did.
He's a-
And he bloody did.
Well, that's it.
That's the thing he does.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what we all go to football for. To
Totally
see
agree.
goals and to watch a couple of magicians do their magic.
Well,
And at the minute we're blessed with two of them. So,
if you look behind me here, the reason I fell in love with football, England fans
Yeah.
might not love this,
Ah,
was
yeah,
because of,
but still,
because
you
of
have
that
to.
man. He's the greatest player I've ever seen in my life. And I saw him when I was a kid in the 86 World Cup, and I thought, nobody can be that good. And one of the key things that I always, and I used to love Gascoigne when he was an unbelievable player. And I love dribblers. I love players
Yeah.
that can beat a player. You love like R9, peak R9, step over, gone.
Yeah.
He's beating him. And you leave a man, if you can leave a man for dead, you know, if you could beat him in a phone box type player, you're my kind of player. You know, and Jeremy Monga is that, isn't it? If the slow motion replay of the preparation for the goal, he's already seen the 1-2 with Daka before the defenders know what's going on. So he's already thinking, I've got the 1-2 here. But the first time cross isn't on, so he already quickly thinks, I've got to drag this back. One quick look up, he can see the Ricardo coming late. So it's not just the technical ability, it's the game awareness and the vision.
Yeah, absolutely.
He can read the game faster than guys who've played it their whole careers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's natural, innate ability that's not just excellent, that's super special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boys, let's touch on this fella. Well, we thought the Chelsea goal were good. I mean, this one were good. This guy is a big game player. He is. He scores goals. He turns up and does what Abdul does best. Like the Sky camera says, you know, the defenders become defenseless when Abdul Fattah shows up.
Good quote. Good line.
This guy is special, and Marty's fell in love with him straight away. He wants to see.
How can you not?
Goals. He wants to see them dance moves as well, and he spoke about it. Get after it. He was excited. He wants to keep him as much as anything because he's going to be a real pivotal player to how he plays. What was your thoughts on Abdul, Manny?
You know, when I got my City shirt this year, it's always a bit of a question. Am I going to get a name on the back of it? And most of the time I don't. Or I get my name, or I just don't get any name. But this year, even though he hadn't played for a year, I didn't forget how good Abdul was, like the first time around. Like, it's not. It might be like it seems like a new thing. You know, he's all over the press. He does it on the cameras. Abdul's been doing this for a little while. You know, remember the hat trick against Southampton in a massive game when we were struggling. That's not. That's what the guy does. Remember Bournemouth in the cup away where he stuck it in the top corner. This is what he does. You know, this guy is capable of that. He's got a beautiful left foot. Obviously, we know that he might have one of those days where he tries it 5 times and it goes 50 meters over the bar. Yeah, but that's what you get with a 19, 20-year-old. As you naturally develop and smarten up and you get used to training and nutrition and the rest of it. Remember where Abdul learnt to play football and even developed at Sporting Lisbon, and now he's been at Seagrave for a few years. world-class recovery facilities, all the technical data, all the video data you can dream of. And I don't know about you guys, but he looks ripped.
Yeah, he does. He looks
He's,
solid.
he's built very well, and we were always
Yeah.
questioning, wasn't we, Manny, before the start of the season? Can he come back? And if so, can he come back even stronger? And he has. He's bulked up massively, and he looks even more quicker.
I've seen so many players have ACLs over the years, so many, and it takes 9 to 12 months for them to come back. But actually, that's to come back to start playing. For them to be the player that they were probably takes another 3-6 months of slowly building up that match fitness. Abdul turns up the first game against Fiorentina. He does a little dink over the fullbacks, drags it past them, runs 40 metres, touches inside, finishes. It's like he'd never been away. You're not supposed to be this good straight away after an injury like that. It's supposed to take you 4, 5, 10, 15 games to build it into your body and your legs.
Absolutely.
And you saw the signs of that at the end when he was knackered and he was cramping up, right? That's what I mean. His match fitness isn't perfect. So what you're seeing is Abdul at 80-85% at the moment. Do you know how scary that is? He's going to get even better than this in the next 3 months.
Oh, that's it. Wait to the end of September. I mean, that's where I always judge where a side is going to be. Come the end of September, you've got all your business done. Everybody's there. There's no interruptions. And it's games and training. And then come the end of there, you've done 10 games. So you've got who you want. You know what you're doing. Everybody knows their job. Everybody knows their role. And that's where you go. And from there on, if you're in a good place by that point, you're heading in a good direction. If it's not, then you're scrapping around and you're thinking, what can we change when it comes around to January? So the way we're looking after last night and even the Charlton game where we shored ourselves up a little bit more. That's like I was saying before, that back four has been tweaked slightly and been made more rigid. Been made more rigid. No more bombing on.
No.
Stick as a 4. That's your job. Your job is to protect Jakob.
Vestergaard.
I don't need you to do anything else. We've got our magicians. Leave them to do it.
There was a tactical uniqueness about the game on Friday though that I have to highlight to you guys and the viewers. And I said it just in the preview before the game in that because we know their manager and why he wants to play. He wants to play that possession horseshoe kind of way.
Yeah.
And who we've struggled against this season. We struggled when the teams have sat back and then we forced our defenders to play a higher line and then they can ping long balls in behind Vestergaard, behind Thomas, and we get Vestergaard turning and running backwards. We get caught on transition. However, because they had so much of the ball, our defence was in shape, pretty solid, and actually around the end of the 18-yard line and just in front of that. So there wasn't that much space behind Vestergaard or Thomas for everyone to exploit. And tactically, they made a huge mistake. And I said it before the game. I said, everyone was thinking Birmingham were coming to us. Like, this guy's made an error. Because Marty's trying to build a transition, win the ball. And then if you're low and you have space high, then if you have players like Fatawu that can run into space, Page with his pace, Monga, even Mavididi, then those guys given space against defenders in this league, forget it. They're a toast. And how do we score the goal against Charlton? When Charlton were forward, we transitioned, took it to the other end quickly, bang, goal.
It's mad.
So I think other teams though. So it's a weird thing is that the better teams in this league, we will play better against.
Yeah,
and it might be some of the poorer teams that we struggle against. And remember last time in Lorenzo, we lost to like Plymouth. Yeah. We lost to Borough. But we whooped Southampton a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So to summarise it, the ambition of your opponent is crucial. If they have ambition, they're in trouble. If they don't have ambition, they might have a better chance of doing damage against us.
Well, Alves, I
Wrestling,
believe
isn't he?
I believe he could go out on loan, according to some chats from like Huddersfield fans in their forum. There was on about it yesterday. It's something that I got sent from a Huddersfield chat thing. Will Alves hasn't featured, has he? So maybe we
No.
do send him out on loan.
Loan. I
Monga,
feel for him a little
90
bit.
minutes, Dan.
So
Do you think
Monga 90 minutes.
would you give him 90 minutes?
You see, again, this is a tough one,
It
and it is early days, so you get away with it whilst people are all still getting up to 90-minute match capabilities. The problem is with him is that you want to treat him with kid gloves on, but he's so goddamn good, you struggle to not play him and want
Yeah.
him to be playing. So, yes, is what I will say. Is yes, Mavs just you would have thought if I was Mavadidi, the experienced one, the one who, when we were last in the championship, when we was all asking who's got Premiership quality, he was the first name that would always pop up, and he ain't done it. And since he's come back this season, you'd think, well, go on, son, show your worth, show what you can do. You know, you did get a bit messed about last season.
Yeah.
Prove those doubters wrong. And he ain't. He's come back with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, bit of the ump. The new boy in town's come in. He's getting all the rave reviews.
Puts you
He's
under
getting
pressure,
all the
winger.
yeah.
When someone's behind you doing better than you
And
are, then you should be doing.
he's he's getting a little bit left behind, and he's if he's not careful and he doesn't buck his ideas up and stop just doing the step overs and passing backwards and start looking at what the others are doing, you know, he's going to be end up being the one that comes on after, 60, 70, 75 minutes. He's going to be that one that comes on then to replace Monga when he's a little bit jaded. So, yeah, you'd prefer it to be the other way around, but unfortunately, with how Monga is doing and how Mavs is doing, it's that. And like as for Will Alves, unfortunately,
it's just
for all the prospect he was, he's getting a little bit left behind by this new batch that are coming through.
Yeah.
Louis Page. He might need some longer studs because he kept falling over in that first half, which was a little bit disappointing with him. But other than that, he's gaming again. Game intelligence.
He's getting better every game.
Absolutely. But that comes.
His game improved.
That comes. When you play with better players, you become a better player because you can't not. So because you've got to work that bit harder. You learn off of that. And if you're that way inclined and that's the way what your end goal is, you will always be that. And eventually you'll then surpass them and go on and then play with even better players. Not that we want them to, but at the end of the day, that's what these lads are. Whilst they're with us,
you enjoy them. Yeah,
exactly that. You love them, you enjoy them, you use your eyes over them, and then, unfortunately, when it does become their time to move on, that's it. When everything's all good for the club, and then by then, hopefully, Seagrave is actually doing its job, and the next lot come through. So,
well, Rudkin's finally doing his job after how many years? But it's something that we're surprised with this transfer window with the outgoings. Should have been a bit sooner, but you can't kind of grumble with how much money we've made. We'd like to invest in the squad, of course we would. I know Marty 100%. Said yesterday after the game. Manny, I'm going to come here with two players. I'm going to go with the one that you don't rate first. This man, Oliver Skipp. How good was he in that midfield with this man? Big boobs.
Both of them, brilliant. I thought high intensity, lots of high work rate, high energy, lots of closing down, lots of ball recoveries, interceptions, tackles, trying to turn it around, get the ball out to some of the distribution can be a bit better at times, a bit more. That's the problem with the Winks versus Skip, isn't it? Skip is probably a bit better defensively, but Winks is better moving the ball forwards. So which one do you want to go for? But I would say it was Oliver's best game in a Leicester shirt that I can remember. I can't remember a better one, to be honest.
No.
And that is what everybody assured me would be the case. In the Championship, he'll be fine. And we haven't seen it so far, but on Friday, we definitely did. Now, the challenge with him is, you haven't done that so far in your Leicester City career for whatever reason. And you showed that you can, on Friday, have, a rock-solid game. I wouldn't go any more than rock-solid. It was very workmanlike, He's
Absolutely.
not dominating the midfield, dominating the game necessarily. I did think Booba was even better, but he put himself about. He wasn't just standing there being a passenger in the game, standing around, sort of ambling around, looking like he was involved. He was actively chasing and hunting the ball with gusto, with passion, with desire, with determination, all those things that you want. So, look, I'm always a Mr. If you're crap, I'm going to say you're crap. If you're good, I'm going to say you're good. He was good. So he should get lots of credit. Keep it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think, they deserve praise, the pair of them, after last night. I know we're the biggest critics of them, and, we always think, we don't want you at the club, you crap, whatever. But last night, they did their job. They did everything we've been asking of them for a while. We've not rated them in the first couple of games, and we're thinking, okay, how do you turn it around? And last night they did, maybe Marty will get the best out of this team. They'll progress a lot more with a bit more momentum under the belts after last night. Where if we can do that against Birmingham, we can do that in every game this season. And that's what you want to see, a team with a bit more resilience. I'll come with a question for you before we talk about Josh Murphy and that. Man of the match.
Boobs.
For me, yeah, absolutely.
Boobs.
Who are you going for?
Yeah, Booper. I think he was outstanding. He was outstanding last night. He done line-breaking passes. He won the ball back. He worked hard. I mean, okay, these are all things that we stopped.
Get back.
These are all things that we expect from him. Yeah, but last night, it was more of a complete performance from him. These are the games as I say, that we've been looking for, or we know he can do, but like what I've said many a times, he just can't be asked to do it, which is the biggest disappointment with him.
There's two questions when it comes to that. When you've got a player on your hands who one day fancies it and the other day doesn't, for whatever reason, if you think of the very best examples of those players I can think of, two players come to mind of boys that could play the hell out of the game, but you just couldn't get them to work. Adel Tarabt. Yeah. If you remember Adel Tarabt and Ravel Morrison. Was it Ravel Morrison? Ravel Morrison.
Yeah.
Those two were unbelievably talented footballers, could do things that are like, what? Wow, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How are you at QPR, Adel Tarabt, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
But it's a mindset from them. Their weakness isn't their ability to play football. It's their ability to focus and play football. If they're in the mood, great. If they're not in the mood, forget it. They're the worst player on the pitch.
Yeah, you might as well not have them there.
So is it a kind of players, managers and fans will always want that kind of magic player, in your squad. You want that kind of ammo if you can get it. And the trick is always, it's the manager, isn't it? How can you get this guy to show his best for me as often as possible? And even Fergie, Fergie would always give everyone Fergie would always give everyone a hairdryer treatment, right, if they were being terrible, except Eric Cantona. He would never, ever, ever dare of being even vaguely angry with Eric. No. So he understood that every player has kind of different psychology and you have to treat people differently. Yeah. And maybe, just maybe, I mean, it's a big maybe, but maybe Marty and Boobs have hit it off. He's got in his head.
Massaging that ego a little bit.
And if I was Marty, I would say one simple thing. Boobs, you're in your last year contract. Let's face it, your future's not going to be here. You're not going to get a new contract here, and you don't want one here. But you're still quite young, and you've got a big future ahead of you. Give me a brilliant year, and you will get yourself an amazing move at the end of this season on a free transfer with a big salary. Yeah. And I made this point on
Sign-on
last
bonus.
thing. Yeah, I made this point on blue tinted glasses. Psychologically, think of what it's like when you're in your last year of your contract, right? If you're in your last year of your contract, are you going to slack off, not play, not bother? If you do, at the end of that contract, who's going to come in for you?
Yeah.
How much are they going to pay you? What if in that last year of your contract you are amazing?
Yeah.
Who's going to come for you then in a free transfer? What are your wages going to be then? Case in point, right? Mesut Ozil. Last year of his contract at Arsenal, he's brilliant. They give him a mega deal, 300 and something grand a week. What is he like the next season? And the rest of his career after that, done.
Exactly
He was the contract was a motivator. Adebayor. Do you remember no, sorry, what was his name? Aubameyang, sorry. Aubameyang.
Yeah.
Same, and Marcus Rashford. Last year of his contract, he bangs in 30 goals for Man United. As soon as he signs the contract, can't get in the back. He's not bothered. He's on the lash. He's got his money. It's job done. Your 1 year, this 1 year affects his next 4 years for Booba. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a very, very important for him year on the football pitch. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's Marty. Maybe it's just himself. Maybe he's met a girlfriend. Maybe he's had a kid. Maybe he's just happy. Maybe who knows?
Again,
I'll struggle to get in the mind of a
Martin
Frenchman, to be honest. I don't know. I
That's
don't know how they work.
It's
No,
like
that's it. Martin is multiple language. Is speaking to him in his common tongue,
Yeah.
and it's like,
That's
yeah,
what you need.
You have to build rapport, build a connection.
yeah.
When they
This
understand
guy's
it.
getting things across to me. I'm happy.
Yeah. Gets it across in how he understands it and that,
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
the problems are
Absolutely.
and how we can improve you as a player. And
Now, if he can't be asked the next game, then everything I said just goes out the window as a load of tosh.
Of course.
But-
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. That's
if-
it. But
if
we know that's the problem with him at times.
Yeah, but for his own sake, he can't have a stop-start season. If you get a stop-start season, you'll get a stop-start club. If you have a banging season, you'll get a banging club. So there's all that motivation is there for him, and let's see how much he wants it this year. I suspect that he will surprise a lot of people and continue to play pretty well.
he's got a year left on his contract, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
that's
So,
it. He's in his last year.
got a big year to prove
Big year.
where these last 4 years have gone from these 75 grand of wages, Manny,
Big. Hey, look. Think at your end. I'd be thinking I've got a massive payday coming at the end of this. If I have a good 9 months here, and starting from January, so it's not even 9 months, right? Because you can start talking to foreign clubs from January the 1st.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you have got, we're pretty much 1st of September. So you've got September, October, November, December. 4 months until January the 1st.
Yeah.
If I have an amazing 4 months in the Championship and Leicester are top and we're smashing it up and blah, 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 blah. Do you know the kind of names that might come in for me? Sevilla, 50, 60,000, other clubs like that. If he has a stinker, teams are just going to say, mate, the guy can't be bothered even in the Championship. He wants big money. I wouldn't touch that guy with a barge pole.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Agreed.
Massive, big season for him.
Yeah, and again, like I said, with him being on a free, and if he plays it right, and he's he pops in with a couple of goals as well, gets himself 10, 15 assists in the season, and like you say, sides look at him and they go, okay, maybe he is worth 60k a week, and plus with it being a free transfer, we'll give him 6-8 million signing on fee because we've not got to pay a fee for him, so we'll give it to him. They'll go, he's worth that. He could be worth that to us.
Ace, and there's always the new thing in town compared to the last time he signed a contract. Saudis are in town, and the Saudis are throwing around big money. And if you think Saudis wouldn't go after Booba Samari, they went after Damari Gray.
Of course.
They'll choose their players and they will pay huge money tax free. So if maybe it's nothing to do with money, maybe it's other reasons, whatever. But it's not. The question marks have always been there, and particularly when, like I said, don't underestimate the fact it's when the TV cameras are in town. When the TV cameras in town, if it's Saturday 3 o'clock, right? Leicester are watching, and the opponents are watching. Not many else is. When it's Friday night on Sky.
You're after Dhaka.
When it's Friday night on Sky. Who's after Dhaka?
Saudi Pro League.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
If we can get 20 million, if we can say he's the best striker going since sliced bread and get 20 million for him, buddy, you'd be rubbing your hands, rookie.
20's optimistic. Two. I take
They've got a
two.
lot of money
I
to
take
splash.
two.
You see,
Yeah,
insane.
yeah,
But
exactly.
let's get on to transfers. There's been a bloody lot of bloody rumours,
A lot of news
speculation.
today.
A lot of news as Leicester have got 2 days in the transfer
I was
window.
going to say,
The
a lot of
hours.
news. I'd rather see some movement, but
Right, so we'll start off with what Fosshub said about
Poor old Foss Hub's
Amine
working double time, by
Shabani.
the way.
he's got sore thumbs.
Yeah. he's got-
Amine Shabani, 19-year-old Amiens defender. I believe he's a centre off. Leicester have looked at him as well as other clubs. So yeah, he's another young, good prospect. I believe he plays in the French league.
At Amiens.
Amiens. Is that how you pronounce it?
Amiens.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Manny, have you actually looked at him in detail?
All I know he's 19. He plays centre back, stroke right back. Morocco
I was
under
gonna say, I thought
21s.
it was
Normally you
right
do
back.
the defensive report and that.
Yeah, I know.
Actually come up.
Normally I would do, and it's exactly.
French league too.
But I tell you what, I do when I've come up with my silly names, I definitely look at AFCON under 20s. AFCON under 20s, I think, is a goldmine of talent, right? Because the young African players, they're generally going to be pretty quick. They're generally going to be on very, very low wages. They've grown up playing on substandard surfaces.
Yeah.
And if you know the story of my Diego Maradona, he grew up playing on the very worst garbage amount of turf, gravel, mud, whatever, waterlogged pitches, all kinds of anything but a good pitch. But if you can shine under those good pitches, it improves your touch, right? You know, you learn to control the ball when there's a dodgy bounce. You learn to react when there's a dodgy bounce, and so those kids are cheap. They're athletic. They're very humble. They'd love to go to Europe and make that money to sort of get their family out of tough situations often as well. So I think AFCON under 20, without looking at the player, just the profile, the paper profile, bang on.
There we go. Right. Let's get into one that we have bidded for. Leicester have bidded for the first bid for Josh Murphy from Portsmouth. Rejected. Pompey are adamant he's not for sale. Leicester and the player are keen in the stance. It changes between now and Monday. Player played full 90 minutes today against Preston. He's about, about 30?
Yes.
He can play as a second forward. I know you can't have all these youngsters, can you, Manny?
Yes, you can actually.
Leicester,
we've got enough of the oldies.
We don't need a lot of wingers, but it's good to see that we've actually put bids in for players, Manny. It's always been about acquiring an interested FC, but we've actually put in a bid FC. So, Dan, what's your thoughts on Josh Murphy?
He's not coming to the end of a contract at all, is he?
No, he's got 2 years left.
Has he? Well, 2 years.
2 years. 21 goal contributions last season.
A 30-year-old with an ex-Premier League.
We've been there before.
Interested.
Been there before. Look, he's a decent player, and his brother's good as well. You know,
that's
decent.
it. Look,
but
his assists were very high last season.
Yeah,
but not for me.
We've got a 30-year-old backup winger in Bobby Cordova-Reid, haven't we? What do we want?
Yeah.
Why do we want a different 30-year-old backup winger? I can see what they're trying to do. You've lost Casey, and maybe you're trying to fill that hole in the squad. But we've got Bobby to come back. We don't need it. We don't need it.
We've got Silko Thomas. We've got the other young.
We haven't seen Jake Evans at all. We've got Monga that can cover right wing if we wanted to. You know, Monga could cover right wing and Mavididi could cover left wing if Fatawu got injured or he needed to be rested. You can rotate other players into that role. If it was an absolute emergency, you could do something crazy like put Ricardo there. That's happened before under Brendan.
Absolutely.
We do not need Josh Murphy. It's not about the player. It's just we don't want to go down that road of 30 today, 31 next year, 32 the year after. You're not getting any younger. We've seen with the young guys. Louis Page, assist. Jeremy Monga, assist. Both goals yesterday assisted by a 16 and 17-year-old. The kids, what's that song? How does the song go? I believe the children are the future. And that's
This is your finest MJ.
I can actually bears right about that.
That's He's more of a right back than a centre back.
Great show tonight, all. are we still looking at Raksaki?
Oh, I like him actually.
He's a good player.
Well,
Sheffield
I like
United
him.
had him on loan last season, Raksaki from Crystal
Yeah.
Palace. He's
Yeah,
one
I
that
like him.
showed interest in the past.
I-
You never
Yeah,
know
but-
what we've got.
Well, I would expect with Eze now going, that opens up a little space for him perhaps to
Maybe.
get his
I
feet
don't
in
know.
under the table.
They bought somebody else, and
They have,
and they didn't play Raksaki in the last couple of games. They played. Is it Dennehy? I think it is Dennehy. They played left Justin. I think his name was Justin Dennehy, and he's played the last 2 games for Palace instead of Eze's role. So you would have thought that if Raksaki was going to play, they'd give him a couple of games to try him out. So he might well be available for loan, and that's the kind of signing I like. Getting.
Yeah.
I don't want to get Josh Murphy, but getting a young talent
getting
from
Raksaki,
getting Raksaki,
who's
a young
21,
talent.
isn't he?
I think he's younger than that. Is he? How old is he?
I'm not 100%. Like I say, I know he's around 2021
On a loan, perfect.
on a
Right.
loan.
On a loan, I love that. Love that.
Right.
Love that
Yeah.
signing.
Yeah.
Boys,
Hang on.
let's go on to a more advanced one.
Okay.
This one is coming a Feyenoord. CL Merlo on X obviously does a lot regarding Feyenoord and South American players. This guy's Argentinian, played in the MLS, done fantastic in the MLS. This bloke, I think he played for Philadelphia, I believe. Julian Carranza is nearing a deal to join Leicester City. Carranza, 25 years old, joined Feyenoord on July the 1st in 2024 from Philadelphia Union. For Feyenoord, he scored 5 goals in 30 appearances during his time. Bagged 43 goals. It's another one that kind of reminds me of the Bristol City link. You know what? What's his name put out the other day? Peter O'Rourke. He looked at his and thought it just isn't that. Do you get what I mean?
No.
It sort of gives you a giggle. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you looking at in strikers? But talks between Leicester and Feyenoord continue. Deal is loan with an option to buy.
Okay. I don't mind that so much.
It's
MLS were fantastic, but he's not really hit it off Feyenoord.
those stats are slightly misleading. He's had 5 goals and 9 starts. 5 and 9 starts. So he's had 21 sub appearances. And when you come on for 10, 15 minutes, it's not easy.
You're not getting nothing.
You're not getting sometimes it can be good if the game is stretched. You might find a bit of space, but it's not easy to come on and regularly start scoring. In order to get to Feyenoord,
You never know unless you try.
do you know what? But I am going to ask because my father-in-law's one of his mates, he was a former board member of Feyenoord. Still has the box there. Family's Feyenoord insanity, like Feyenoord stuff all in their house, everything. The guy's he's brilliant. He's in his 70s, but really knows his football really well.
Yeah.
I asked him about that Calvin Stengs we were linked with the other day.
Yeah.
And he gave me a glowing report, actually. He was like, yeah, he'd be really good for you guys. But then he goes to Pisa instead.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him about Julian Carranza, but he had a good junior record for Argentina's under 19s or whatever it was, under 20s. I can't remember which exact team it was. And it's one of those, it's a gamble, right? But we're at the stage, we definitely like a gamble. Yeah. Argentinian players generally have a work rate, whether it was Facundo wasn't lazy, Cambiasso wasn't lazy. Argentinian players are full of passion and fire. They work
A little
hard.
bit of aggression.
Oh yeah, bit of filth
bit of
in them at
aggression
times. A bit of like Diego, a handball
Yeah.
or a kick or a bit of dirt, the odd elbow. They know how
That's
to scrap and fight. Argentinians, no joke. They won the World Cup 3 times.
Absolutely.
And the greatest 2 players of all time are Argentinian.
Messi.
That's it.
And
That's
Diego.
it. And Diego.
So, it's
Diego
one of those,
number
I think.
one,
Definitely. Yeah, Diego's the best. I saw everything of Messi, but it wasn't as good as Diego. But the difference is Diego's candle didn't burn as for as long, but it burned brighter, in my opinion. That's the way I would say it.
The problem with Diego is his candle burnt at both ends.
Steady, Paul. Steady, Paul. Pele never got out of Brazil to score his goals, apart from when he went to New York. All right, steady on.
Fair enough. Let's go on to the next one. Yusuf Arabi, Swedish forward. Millwall are interested. Leicester have looked at him. Plays for Hanabi. Scored quite a few goals for them. He has scored this. He has scored quite a few. And he's obviously played in Europe as well. He can play as a centre forward, left wing. 22 years old, Manny. What's your first? Yusuf, or is it Yusuf Arabi or Yusuf?
Yusuf.
Yusuf.
Yusuf Arabi, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Now I've got to give this one to Anil from Blue Tinted Glasses, right? Because
Has he looked at him?
we did a scouting show a month ago on forwards, and Yusuf Arabi is one of Anil's selections, one of his candidates. So there've been some rumours that maybe they're looking at us for some scouting help every now and then. Richard Kone was obviously in the same show. Richard Kone was our ultimate recommendation, but one of our backup recommendations was Yusuf Arabi. I was not on that show personally, and I didn't do the forwards one that day. But according to Anil, very good for the championship. Question marks whether the ceiling is high enough to go much better than that.
League,
yeah. But again, it's one of those signings. It's 22. Even if he shows a bit of talent, you'll always find someone else to get him off your books. It's not like one of these old guys that you can't shift. No one's going to buy Cordova-Reid. If Cordova-Reid was 21, you'd get someone to take a gamble on him. I will take him. So I like that kind of, again, profile. The Raksaki, the young Moroccan lad, this lad. It's the right profile, but I can't speak about the actual player, at least until I've had a look.
Yeah. Fair enough. What's happened to Rob Tanner? Well, he's going to be back in work very soon, from what I've been told. So, yeah, hopefully I'll keep you posted on that one. The next one, Manny, Leicester pushing to sign Eric Smith, Swedish international again. St. Pally don't want to lose the player at this stage of the window, but Leicester are trying to close the deal. It then got reported by the German outlet, Hamburger Enblot. St. Pauli defender Eric Smith rejected. Leicester evidently considered the 28-year-old as an ideal replacement. So he's a midfielder. I believe he's is he the captain? I believe he's captain. That's someone that we could probably look at because we don't know what the future holds for Harry Winks. Could someone make a move for him late on the window? He didn't feature at all yesterday, so question marks again to see if he's going to be in the plans. What's your thoughts on Eric Smith, Dan? Another Swedish player that we've been linked with today. Been linked with quite a few. We'll be linked with Aber at this point.
Well, it's no coincidence that our manager managed in those regions and knows a few of these lads, and is going through his little black book, no doubt, and picking out a few names, seeing where they are now, seeing how they're getting on, and going, a couple of these lads can do a job for us, and they won't be that expensive. But as for him, I don't see him as an Ndidi replacement. I see him, as you were just reiterating there, as a Winks replacement, because from what I've looked at him today, he's more.
They say he's very good.
Yeah. He can put a tackle in, but he's finer than that. He can score a good goal. He can make a good pass. He can do these, like I say, defense splitting, line breaking passes in that final third. So he's a combination between Winks and Bilal, who can tackle.
He's like Sander. Do you know Sander Berg from Fulham?
Yeah.
He's like Sander Berg, a big, massive Viking who sits there in the defensive midfielder area. And if there's any danger, I'm big and I'm physical and I can move. I'm going to sweep it up. But rather than being the guy who then tries to break forward like Kante would do, take 5-10 yards and then lay off, he's just going to ping a Ronald Koeman 50-yard diagonal to somebody. But actually, we want to get the ball to Abdul quickly. We want to transition quickly. We want to get the ball to Monga quickly. We can either play it on the deck quickly like we did Enzo style, or you can get it to them quickly. So it's as long as it's a like for like, I wouldn't add him to the squad as it is. But if it means that Winks goes and this guy comes in, so it's a direct swap,
it'd be good.
Then I'll take that.
That guy can ping a 40-yard ball to Abdul, mate. We're cooking on the attack.
Do you remember what Callum Dore used to do? Didn't he? He used to pick that the left foot. He used to pick
that big crossfield pass.
Fast used to do it to Mavadidi on the other side.
Yeah.
It was an Enzo tactic. You know, everyone thinks Enzo's short passes, but at times you see
Yeah,
the long ball diagonal being pinged.
that's it. Yeah, when necessary, it was used.
Last one is Martin Cifuentes again. Wants to sign Ajax captain Anton Seletros.
So is this the guy that Marty's coached before?
I
No,
believe
that was the
so.
forward. I don't know about this one, but it was the forward he brought through from the youth academy through to the first team.
You know what? I always like that kind of thing. Like, if you're a manager, right, and you go to a club, it's not just about your team. You know, you look at everyone and you're watching some of the kids, some of the bench players. You might see someone go, do you know what, that kid's 14, but I tell you what, when he's 17, he's going to be
He'll be a
18.
player.
He'll be a player. I'm going to come back in for him. So
This-
I hope it's one of those, like, I've got a bit of secret inside knowledge. There's this kid who no one knows about yet, but he's got some ability. This one, and we could snap him up for cheap, and it'd be a steal. I hope that's the case.
This one's a highly rated midfielder in Sweden. This one,
Yeah, he is.
He's
Yeah.
captain of Ike. They rate him very highly. Leicester are due to make a bid for him, so that'd be interesting. This guy's dominant, leadership, big, strong, and I think this is the guy who can spray the ball quite well. 40 yards. This is
So it
guy
sounds like we're looking for a similar kind of player in that area, aren't we? Someone who's got a good passing range. And Tielemans wasn't like the biggest runner, but his passing was delicious. His long balls were fabulous at times.
Yeah.
Someone Drinkwater before him, some of his long balls were absolutely brilliant. Drinky.
That's it.
I think we're maybe looking for a player who can sweep up, tidy up, but has the ability again, like we said, to find those long balls. So if one doesn't work, maybe the other one will come in or whatever.
Well, this is it. You know, well, at the end of the day, by the end of this window, we could only end up with having two, with Boober and Winks. Boober and Skip, sorry, if Winks goes. So bringing these two in is not silly. You know, both of them are big physical specimens who can pass a bit. So why would you not?
Hey, look, Dave in the chat says that he's a
Eric's-
quality player.
Eric Smith's the centre back, and this guy's the midfielder. I think we've got it the bloody wrong way round, but it don't matter.
As long as it's kind
No,
of.
Eric Smith is a midfielder.
It says he's a defender on
No,
mine.
We watched some clips today. We've seen some clips.
Yeah.
He can.
Eric Smith's a Swedish
He's a DM that can slot into centre back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Comfortably. And if you need him to play centre back, he's like. Do you remember how Ndidi used to do it? I think this guy does it better than Ndidi. Like, he's more used to doing it than Ndidi would do. But he's tall. He's big. You know, he looks like a centre back almost.
He can spray that ball.
He looks like a centre back playing in midfield. If you can sort of imagine that.
Yeah.
He's 29 as well.
That's the only slight. But if it's going to only cost us, say,
players.
you know, 500 million and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no great loss.
If you get Winks off your wages this year, he's going to be on 70 grand a week. That's £3.5 million.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of Winks, you saved yourself £3.5 million. And if this guy's going to cost a couple of million and probably 20, 30 grand a week, I would have thought, something like that.
I was going to say
it's exactly the same amount of
20.
money. So the same amount of money, but that's why I like it as a like for like only. If you're going to getting rid of Winks pays for this guy. And I wouldn't want to pay for this guy out of a budget that we need for a striker or other positions.
No, absolutely not.
If the boat can bloody spread the ball, what if Eric Smith more CDM role, which obviously fits the purpose of what Harry Winks does play. Then you've got Seletros again, good free kick taker, passing, and phenomenal.
Good pens as well. I saw earlier.
They're two like for like players, aren't they? If you sort of look at them, one's more of a leader, captain type of material. The last player we looked at, and this one's more. If you look at Smith's more of the ideal CDM who can spread that ball, and then the other one, Seletros, is more of your Swedish in the middle type of guy, can play either side. And
bit of a maestro.
He's going to control that midfield. He's going to be like your captain, marshal in that midfield. Tells you where to be,
Well, we're
And
kind of looking for two, aren't we? We're looking for an attacking midfielder because
yeah,
we think Bilal's going to go, but we're looking for a defensive midfielder because we haven't fully replaced Wilf either, and we're worried about the job that the others are going to do. So we're looking for both. And I know Fosshub is worried about. I don't recommend 28-year-old, 29-year-old players. It's not my thing.
no,
But and I would what. But the important thing is, as long as you're not trying to increase the average age of the squad. So if you're getting rid of Winks, who's 30, and you're bringing a 29-year-old, you're not increasing the average age. You're
That's
reducing
right.
the average age
Yeah.
whilst maintaining that level of experience that they want. Like in my world, I still wouldn't be signing a 28, 29-year-old. I'd
No.
find you a DM who's 22, who's a future animal, who
yeah,
Yeah.
likes to boss the area. That's going to be, who I love, the guy I love, Carlos Baliba at Brighton.
Yeah.
Watch, he's going to be 100 million quid player. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. And
Yeah.
just like when they bought Caicedo, sell him for 100 and whatever. They'll
yeah,
replace him with Baliba. They're going to sell him for 100 and whatever. They'll replace Baliba with another guy and then sell that guy for 100 or whatever. How old was Caicedo? 20. How old was
Yeah.
Baliba? 20.
Yeah.
I would like to find the DM 20-year-old beast version of it.
Yeah.
Caicedo cost 5 million quid.
That's it.
The guys that we're talking about now are costing 2 or 3. So I believe that with unbelievably brilliant scouting, you can find these absolute superstar athlete DMs who
yeah.
physically are all good enough, but they're not 28, 29, they're 20.
Yeah. Exactly that.
So let's
Exactly
just
that.
want to snap up.
Okay,
Manny and
Dave.
Rush,
All right, Dave.
Manny and Russia about Bilal. Sat in the stands yesterday. The manager did say about mentally that he only wants players who want to win games and do right for the team. He's obviously said there are inquiries about him. There's no formal bids been made, but what's your initial thoughts on the whole Bilal thing? Do you think he'll be here by the end of the window, or do you think someone will pay what is in the region of £40 million for him?
I think someone will pay.
Yeah.
Stuttgart are one of the clubs, aren't they, looking at him?
We always look at it in this case from a selling point of view. In that, will he go? But look
Yeah.
at it from those clubs who want to bring someone in. Like, who can we get? And if we don't get him, someone else might get him. I think a lot of deals happen late, and when you sell a player, you've now got the money to reinvest, and you might not get your first choice, you might not get your second choice, but you get your third. But in terms for Bilal, from Bilal's point of view, I look at it differently. I was a 20-year-old lad once. Didn't earn Bilal's money, but I was a 20-year-old once. And when you start getting Tottenham's or even Palaces who've been in Europe and London and a wage increase, it's very, very tempting. You're like, for the good of my career, I need to go. Don't forget, he's got AFCON in January and a World Cup at the end of the year.
He's got to play.
This is a mega year for Bilal. He
Big
could be
year.
on the world stage.
Big year.
He's probably maybe thinking, if I am in the Championship and Leicester is struggling, and the first few games we were struggling a bit. If we let's say Leicester are mid-table in the Championship, I'm not going to get a starting spot in the World Cup. I don't care. Forget all that. This is the World Cup. I want to play. So I don't
That's
think
it.
it's as easy to some people calling him names and other things. I just
No.
think you got to be reasonable and say he's an ambitious young lad. He's always worked hard every minute he's been on the pitch for Leicester, apart from the very last game.
The Preston game, yeah.
And that's because his head is messed up. What it is, there's a 50-50 challenge. Normally, Bilal, he's aggressive, right? He's going to try and win the ball. This time, he's like, I don't want to win the ball. I might hurt myself and not get a move. You don't want that kind of mentality.
No.
But when the window closes,
Yeah.
that's gone.
Yeah.
That 50-50, now he's that person, like Booba earlier. You've got to
Yeah.
impress. And your motivation is different to Booba. You're not playing for a new contract necessarily because you're going to get a contract. You're playing because it's big international
Because
year for you.
You want an AFCON and you want a World Cup. But
Yeah.
again, with all this stuff about head being turned, I see that as a bit of a nonsense. That's more of the people that are around him are going,
Agents
don't play. 'Cause if you get hurt,
That's the
I can't-
reason.
I can't get you
That's
moved.
the real reason. That's the real
yeah.
reason.
And
That's the real reason.
this is where, for me, agents are just such a bad people within the game. All they do is take money out of it. They never put anything in. They only take money out. big money as well. We're not talking about chump change. But a lot of these are paid big money by clubs, not by the players who they're representing. Get paid by the clubs, and the authorities need to get a grip on these guys because they kill clubs like us,
Yeah.
where they get the Moroccan manager coming out or the Belgian manager, as in Fas, going, I'll say this, say this, say this. And they go and say it. That's devaluing the player for us.
Yeah.
Because it makes it harder for us to then go, no, he's got 3-4 years left on his contract. He's our player. He will play.
Do you
regardless.
think if he stays, do you think he plays? Do you think he'll get his head down and actually start playing?
Yeah.
He has no choice.
No, he
has
won't.
no choice.
Yeah,
He's not going to rise in the championship. This is the thing.
Whether Marty picks him is a different matter.
No, I'll pick him. The second that window goes, everything changes. Everything. The second that window closes, everything changes. You might be pissed off for a few weeks that we played hardball for the price. So he might kick up a stink and go, I want to go back to Morocco and see family and friends for a bit.
Yeah.
My mind's not there. But when he comes back, it will click that, do you know what? It's no good me sitting on the, not even sitting on the bench, sitting in the stands, getting fat, not doing anything. People need to see me playing football. I need to show what I'm like. And he's the kind of player that always wants to show what he's like. That's his nature as a footballer. I wouldn't be worried about any of that stuff mentally. I wouldn't be worried about this whole situation. If he goes, we should get a good fee. If he doesn't go, he's the kind of player that we would love to sign for that attacking midfielder role. We're not going to get anyone as good as him.
No.
So I look at it as actually a win-win. Either we get a load of cash, which would be very good for our PSR. It gives us money in January should we need to. And if we don't spend it now or January, it's a bigger PSR allowance should we get promoted.
Yeah.
So that means that's another 30-40 million quid you could spend when you're in the Premier League. And that's the time where we really want to go bananas, right? That's the time where you've already got to gamble. So it gives you more ammunition in the Premier League. So I kind of look at it like a win-win. Whatever happens, we win.
That's it. Yeah. Whatever we save this season goes into next season's budget. Correct. Providing all goes well. And
as long as they don't just not want to spend any money and want to sell the club instead, and which is I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, we'll see, but if we sell, I think he'll only sell to the right person, and it's only going to be some sort of investment banking from the US or from Saudi, because that seems to be the only money that's sloshing around. And either which way, as it stands at the minute, none of those people from that environment have done that bad a job. So I don't worry. People always go, "Oh, be careful what you wish for." We've got it good with King Power. They've always been good to us. They've always been this, which they have. Yeah, which they have. But sometimes clubs out and leagues outgrow those original investors, no matter how good they've been.
Normally, when you're buying a club, infrastructure is a problem. The stadium needs updating. The training ground needs updating.
Yeah.
This needs doing. That needs doing.
That's it.
Everything is already. This is like instant club. Everything is there in place. If you could change the management, put some more money in for investment, nobody needs to demonstrate to anyone what Leicester City, with excellent ownership and management, can achieve in the world of football. We are the number one overachieving club on the planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In any league, anywhere
in the world,
ever.
Yeah.
Because since the year 2000, we are the 6th most successful club in England in terms of winning trophies. Yeah. And we have also completed domestic football. We've won League Cup, FA Cup, Community Shield, and the Premier League, all since the year 2000. And if that's not overachieving, because we're a similar size to Forest, Derby, Southampton, Wednesday, lots of other clubs, how many of any of those clubs won? 0. We've got 5.
Yeah.
There we go.
In a ground that holds 36,000.
That is why we've got fans from like Craig, who's watching from Dallas, and we've got fans from South Africa, fans from all over the world.
Yeah.
Because they're not. They see that story, they fall in love with that story. Like,
Of
this
course.
is the best
Why would you not?
underdog story ever. Like, this is the club where miracles happen
Yeah.
if you can do it properly.
Yeah. Absolutely. From the Pro Club.
You should get me. Tell you what, if you're going to sell the club, boys, get me on there. I'll help you do it. I'll do a pitch for some of these sellers because I think this is one of the best clubs in the world you can buy. I was talking to a mate of mine who's a Bristol Rovers fan yesterday, and he's like, it's always Bristol City Rovers, this and that. And I said, if Bristol was like Leicester, just had a one club city,
Yeah.
then Bristol could get himself to be a really big football place.
Yeah.
It's such a big advantage. Like even Nottingham, I know it's a little bit bigger, but they still got County and Mansfield Town and other little things that take a bit of your catchment area away. Leicester's one club city, amazing history.
Absolutely.
When we unify, great club.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Boys, what we're expecting over the next 2 days of the transfer window, or do we sort of see happening? How many do you reckon we'll bring in is the next question to you both, or how many are we actually going to be linked with again tomorrow?
2 loans over to them.
2 loans. Right. My hope and belief is that we are trying to bully Millwall into letting us have in Ivanovic by going after the what's his name? I've forgotten his name now. The other lad who we've just been talking about. So they go, okay, take him for 10 million because I think we can do that. Like what I've said before, when you balance it. But I think we will bring in Arabi. That's it. We will bring in 2, and we will bring in 2 loans. Who they are, who knows? Definitely a forward, definitely a midfielder.
A striker's a must before this window shuts.
I think we'll bring a winger in on loan, and I think we'll bring another midfielder in on loan.
That's where we're lacking up front.
And then after that, it depends on who goes. If Bilal goes, he'll be replaced, and if Fast goes, he will also be replaced.
Fingers crossed. Bloody Forest can hurry up with this bloody Christensen deal, man.
Well, that's another one I'd even forgotten about.
Bloody Marinakis and tell him he's the world's best left back.
Yeah,
we're nervous he's going to pull out.
The guy's got some money, Go and tap him up.
Yeah, well, I think they've got internal problems to sort out first, don't they? That's their issue. That's gone quiet a bit now, I think. But also, because obviously the Saudi window and the Turkish window doesn't close until the 10th and the 20th of September, something like that.
So, Klibar,
I do think we'll lose 2 more, Daka being one. I would like to think we've replaced them by now.
Might be a successful window, though, wouldn't it? If we'd lost players that we want to get rid of, we don't have to get any
of the ones we get rid of.
More players at the minute. Obviously, we're satisfied with PSR, but we can get rid of players if we choose to. Someone messaged on about Josh Sargent. We're not going to go and make a cheeky bid for him.
I don't have any interest in him, if I'm being honest. I don't know what the fuss is about him. I really don't.
He's a goal scorer.
In the Championship.
Yeah.
Goal scorer in the Championship. Very, very different. And he's very injury prone.
Bang on, Dan. You tell him. You bang on. Absolutely agree with Dan.
What about you, bloody Eskimo, mate?
There he is, look.
How many players
Better late than never.
How many players are the sources telling us we're bringing in Clibo? And we want a little scoop before we end the show.
Well, I mean, like I said, my contact said they would like to bring in 4 to 5. But Leicester being Leicester, extremely secretive. My estimate would be 2 to 3 players, but I think all 4 of us are we're kind of relying on sort of half-assed sources. I think if you're asking me what the bare minimum is, I think attacking midfielder and a striker, pretty much same as everybody else. I think we all kind of sat watching that game last night thinking, yeah, we won the game, but creativity-wise, we were a bit lacking. and we could have definitely done with a Bilal or a Winks. Unfortunately, we all know what's going on there. I think if you had a look at last night, I mean, I think the reason we kept a clean sheet is because we weren't pushing forward as much as I think as the Marty system would suggest, which is why I mean, I didn't want Vestergaard to start, but I have to say he had a really good game, and he commanded, and he was talking to Okoli all the way through the match, and I think he was actually led like a captain yesterday. So credit where it's due. Sometimes, because I want to ask Manny this while he's stuffing his gob. I watched the match. I was behind the goal. I was in SK3, and I watched your review last night. I watched the reviews last night, and you were really, really high praise of Thomas. Now, I messaged Reese afterwards, and I said, "Did you watch Manny talking about Thomas?" And he went, "Yeah." And we were both completely in disagreement. You're muted, mate.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I've been so horrible to this kid, right? In every single show I've ever done. It's very easy to be one of those people that's just like, he just hates the guy. No matter what he does, Manny's just going to have a pop at Thomas. And I don't want to be put in that kind of pigeonhole. Like I said, I try to be as fair and reasonable as I can. I was not saying that Luke Thomas had a world-class performance. What I'm saying is Luke Thomas is the kind of player that makes mistakes in a game.
Yeah.
Quite a few mistakes. And yesterday, I didn't see many mistakes, at least that led to something dangerous for them that they didn't punish. He didn't give away any soft free kicks. He didn't get booked. The winger wasn't charging past him time after time and creating chaos. There was no ball in coming over the top behind him. But it's different.
And nothing rash.
But he was sitting deep on the pitch. There wasn't any space behind him really for him to worry about too much. So I understand that. I'm not saying Luke Thomas is all of a sudden a good player that we can rely on Hatton for the championship. I would sell him in the next 2 days in a heartbeat. That has not changed. I'm just saying for Luke Thomas, relatively, he had a good game.
That's fair enough. I mean, what I will say to that, and I want to ask Jack this, is in the first half, he was marking a player that looked like he should be playing prop forward for Wigan. And 3 times in that first half, 2 or 3 times in that first half, that player skinned him and drove into the box unmarked.
Are we on about Samuel?
You're going to be better. You're going to be better at his names than me. These players than me.
Samuel's the right back, so it must have been.
He was a big lad. He was a big unit.
Let's have a look. Because Samuel was the one who was getting down that right hand side quite often.
Yeah, he was a black guy. He had some pace on him. He had some pace on him. That's right. I mean, I've always been an advocate. I've always been an advocate for Thomas. I've always liked him.
Because Williamson playing ahead of him.
Yeah.
It would definitely Samuel plays more advanced for Birmingham than just a right back. He tries playing that wing back position. To move.
That's right.
So he went massive. He just kept getting run. Second half, he didn't do anything.
No, you're right. And so what my point being is sometimes when you're at the game, you see a completely different game to when you're watching on TV. Because Reese has been at a game and I've watched it, and he said to me, blah, blah, blah. And I've gone, were you watching the same game as me, mate? So that's really interesting. Really interesting.
I'd say Thomas was far better yesterday than he was against Charlton.
Yeah, but the reason being is because they're not pushing up as much.
No, they kept him back up.
Marty's done that little tweak. He's gone, I want you, solid back four. You are my 4-5. That's it. That's your job. Leave the magic to the others that are in front of you.
He started off inverting him against Wednesday and Charlton. He was trying to tuck him in a bit and get him a bit more advanced. No, he said, tuck back in a standard back four, stay in line with him, don't get too clever, don't get too fancy. Just get the ball, and if you give a chance, give it to Mavadini, give it to Monga. We even saw him give the ball to Monga late on. Nice and simple. You don't need to make overlapping runs. You know, you're not going to be, you know, a fullback like Reece James or some charging left back, but just be solid and stay there. And he definitely did that. But again, I think that they didn't target Thomas in the same way that Charlton did.
No.
And that was because Chris Davies, the Birmingham manager, that Birmingham have that mentality about themselves that we're here to get promoted. We're not going to adapt ourselves to the opposition. We're Birmingham City. We're a big boy in this league, and we're going to act like a big boy. Whereas Charlton are like, you know, we're a tiny fish. We're just going to play dirty, play filthy, hoof it long, scrap and fight, and do what we can. So I think Thomas's efficiency will depend on who we play and how they set up.
Marty seems to like him, though.
He's got no other choice. Who else is there?
He ain't got anybody else. He ain't got Koulibaly. He ain't got Justin to play there. He ain't got Christensen to play there. So what does he do? He's only got one left back.
And then later in the games, he's done it a few times now. He brings Wout Fass on as the third. He goes to three at the
three centre backs and then pushes them as wing backs, doesn't he?
And then he goes to the wing
as
backs.
well, by the way. Yeah, that worked as well. The three.
So he likes the fact that Thomas can play left back and left wing back.
So, given the rumours that Wout is going, sorry, I'm catching up here, guys. So if you've covered this, I do apologise. Given the fact that Wout looks pretty much like he's going, do you think that role will be enabled to Nelson?
Potentially.
What, as a third centre back?
Yeah.
Feyenoord inquiring about Jamie Vardy. Interesting, man. Your in-laws will be buzzing.
They love Jamie Vardy. Love him. They love him over there. They absolutely. I said, Dutch.
Manny be buying the Feyenoord show going to watch.
I must have spoken to. I've probably got like 20 people over the years that I would have talked to about football over in Holland. You normally go like 4 times a year. Wife's family all lives there. They're all football nuts, you know, just like we are.
Evening, Steve.
They love Jamie Vardy and they love shithouse Jamie Vardy. He would.
But how can you not?
I mean, exactly. Who's not going to love Jamie Vardy?
Clibbo.
Yeah.
Who was man of the match? Manny and Dan's gone for Bouba Samari. I was more in the land of Hamza Chowdhury last night because I thought he were exceptional. I know Sky gave it to who did they give it to? Abdul Fattah, I think they gave
Boobs.
Did they give it to
Bouba?
Did they get Bouba as well? Right. Okay. Who would you give it to?
I had a couple of standout performances. I thought Hamza was really good until he got his booking. But the person I'm going to give it to, controversially,
go on,
because I thought he was a real leader on the pitch yesterday. I'm not going to give it Samare because what he did yesterday is the bare minimum for a guy of his talent. Kudos for being very defensively good. But I'm giving it to Vestergaard. I thought his leadership skills were exceptional.
Do you know what I sort of like with the whole Vestergaard and Okoli thing? Is Vestergaard's the better centre back on the ball, but with Okoli he's the more better in the air and more.
He's a better defender.
He's the better defender overall.
He made a block. Did you see that block he made as well? He made another block where that shot was going. That shot was going on target, and he blocks it, and it goes wide for a corner.
His positioning is fantastic. It's just
his distribution is
passing, isn't it?
Lacking.
His passing was horrific. Horrible. He kicked the ball out of play like 3 times. I think it was just horrible.
Do you know what? I don't know whether any of you guys thought this, but from where I was sitting, it looked like it was a deliberate ploy. What he was doing, you would get Jakob would pass it across to him. He would take it out wide and then try and bend the ball round over to Fatawu.
He couldn't hit Fatawu though.
It looked deliberate, but he couldn't do it.
Abdul's a bit quiet apart from the goal because they couldn't get that ball out to him properly. Okoli kept missing him.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating.
I'd rather Okoli just stuck to passing it 5-10 yards maximum in front of him.
Simple.
There's an old saying for players: let the players play and the workers work. And a Coley is a worker.
Yeah,
Don't try and be a player.
But I always say this when I talk about Okoli. Like when I look at a player, I'm not just watching the game. I want to see what happens at half time when they're walking off the pitch. What happens at full time? Are they cuddling their teammates? Are they happy?
Yeah.
Are they miserable? Do they give the manager a genuine hug, or is it one of these fake fives? You're looking for all. Is the guy, because he's not sure if the cameras are going to be on him. So let's see what he's actually looking like. He gives you a little insight into them. And
talking about that, do you think that because I think this is quite relevant, and I would love to get your opinion. I thought Mavididi, from the minute he stepped on the pitch, his body language, he looked injured from the word go, and from the minute he went off the pitch, which is why I'm asking you this question, because it's relevant to what you said. He looked clueless, unenthusiastic, injured, and not wanting to be there.
I would not. I want to take that one. I'm sorry, because I think this is an easy caricature of him, right? That he doesn't look interested. His body, because his shoulders, his body language is looking down at the floor. He looks like he's moping around. He looks like he's not bothered. Doesn't want to be there. But remember Ozil, he's another player that at times he just looked like he's casually. I think that's just his natural way, and what his head is down. Because he's low on confidence at the moment. Last year was a big season for him. It didn't work out. He couldn't get in the team. He was in the team. He was out of the team. Multiple managers. And now you think, okay, back in the Championship, okay, this is a place where I know I can kill it. However, they got this 16-year-old kid who's a freak, who's biting me at the ankles. He's taking my place. And do you know what? I know he's better than me. So what am I going to do here? Like, am I just going to sit on the bench at Leicester now for the whole season? It's your mindset can play tricks on you. Your confidence goes low. You start thinking, I'm not as good as this kid. The fans aren't going to love me anymore. They're singing Jeremy Munger's name. Fatawi's got his own song. Mavididi's not got a song.
Nah, he's had nothing, has he?
It's a trick of management. The manager has to keep him on side. If you start dropping him too often, he'll go, he's just another manager, Marty, is like these others, didn't fancy me, and you won't be able to pull him back easily. So that is why Marty is picking him, saying, look, you're my experienced guy, you know this league, you go out there, do your thing, and back to the match. I know he didn't do anything in attack, but I thought his defensive work was outstanding. Like some of the tackles, he made one challenge where he legged it 30 metres, made a sliding challenge in the middle of the ball. And we spoke about it, Clibo, earlier on, you missed it. But in the very first goal, Mavididi charges from his position to central area purposely to drag the right back out of position. Yeah. It's work rate off the ball that he's not got. It's not fancy tricks and stepovers. It's work. And what I saw from Mavididi was an upside down performance. Work rate high, attacking output low. Normally, it's work rate low, attacking output, some pretty good stuff occasionally. So if we can combine the two, get the work rate high and get the confidence flowing, get the aggressive side, we still know that this guy is a very important player for us over 46 games, particularly since the guy who's going to take his place is only 16. We know he can't do it all season.
That's it.
Agreed. Right, boys, we're going to wrap it up. What would you rate the performance, Clibo, yesterday? What would you sort of give it?
6.5, 6. I didn't think it was that great, to be honest with you. I thought we grounded out a result, and we were lucky that they didn't have a decent striker.
Fair enough. Dan?
Muted, mate.
Yeah, sorry. It's 7. 7.
Yeah.
I understand what Clibo's saying there, but at the same time,
you've missed a
like
lot.
I said earlier, where
you'll find out
where their gaffer was saying, "We done our job well. We broke them up. We done this. We done that. We done the other. We still scored 2 goals against them,
and a clean sheet,
and a clean sheet.
They had one shot on target.
That's the biggest thing.
On target. One.
Yeah, that for me is the biggest thing. Two games, 2 clean sheets.
Money.
That's where you start winning things.
I'd give it a bit higher, actually. Not in the way of I didn't think we offered much in attack, but I thought we were pretty solid in defence. I didn't think we looked under too much trouble. We were very organised, very workman. Like the shape was excellent defensively. It was I'll give it a 7.5 for the defensive performance alone. Not for the 2 goals or attacking play. But it's something that I always remember from the early days of Enzo. I think it was Owen Palmer Atkinson who asked him. I think it was like game 4. I think it was something like that. So pretty much the same. Game 3, game 4.
Same points now.
How you're trying to rework the team and reform the team into a different style of playing. How far along the journey do you think you are on that? And he said 20%, maybe 30% after 3-4 games. He said we've still got so much work ahead of us before this stuff becomes standard muscle memory and the players really understand what we're trying to do. It's the same situation for Marty today. This is about 30%. From an attacking sense of what we can expect from a Marty team that's fully matured.
I agree.
Lots of this is
there's a lot of improvements to be made.
Brad Gilbert, an old tennis player, wrote a famous book about it. It's called Winning Ugly. When you're not at your best, when you're not playing well. Man United used to win leagues off this stuff. Arsenal used to win leagues under George Graham. Win this stuff. You don't play great, but you know how to eke out a result because you're streetwise and you're smart. You move on, and then at one point in the season, it starts to flow. It starts to look good, and I fully expect that's what will happen with us.
Agreed. Big window then, boys. Big 2 days for Leicester. Let's see if we can actually get any players in.
That Moroccan leg looks good, by the way. I had a first look at him. He looks very useful.
Yeah,
Moroccan leg.
That's my next job. Go and have a look at him.
Rudkin seems to be bloody in overdrive, so let's hope he can keep and work it on and actually get some players.
Well, what I can tell you, lads, is I know just my insider. I know for a fact that the medical staff have been told to be on for the next 24 hours.
There we go. Silent striker will walk this league. Well, let's see what happens. But let's take it one game at a time. Everyone's rotors off. Let's just do our talking on the pitch. Let's let everybody else worry about our possible points deduction and all of that and whatever.
Not interested in that.
So
Jack, not worried about any of it. I'll stick with what I said at the beginning. Everybody, you know what? We might not be the best Leicester City we've ever seen. We're not in great shape. We're not as bad as people think. So we've got some unbelievable players still. But the key point to remember is that everyone else in this league is worse than us.
Yeah.
Everybody. There's no Birmingham come up there with big hype. Was not particularly impressed. Look at Ipswich's start to the season. Look at Southampton dropping points. Coventry dropping points. All of these guys that were fancied are Nowheresville. And we're playing crap and we're still right up there.
Cream will rise. The cream will rise.
As will we. Imagine what happens when we start playing well.
Wait till after the transfer window. We've settled the
done. Well, you can say at least we've gained our points lost back at this point in 4 games.
Yeah.
4 games gone. Unbelievable. 42 to go and we're already, you know what? I was starting to... I thought worst case scenario would be 3rd this season. That's what I've always thought. And I've had a pretty decent bet on us to finish top 6, to get promoted and to finish top 2. 3 different ones. Yeah. I still... You know what? I'm going to say something. I'm in the mood to say something stupid because we've won on Fridays.
Go on.
Why not?
Even with a points deduction, we're going to win a league.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I've said that all along, Manny. Said it all along.
I know.
This point deduction, unless it's something completely stupid, which
it'd have to be 12, 15 points for us.
Exactly.
It'd have to be something huge.
I've added in automatics and winning the league.
Top two if it's 9 points for sure, on the basis that our rivals cannot get their act together.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, we've hit the like target of 60. Let's try and push it to 100. Just push it out there. Hit the like button.
That's it.
Subscribe.
Absolutely.
Great panel as always. Thanks to Manny for taking his time to come on.
Thank you to the hardest working man in Fan Channel TV, Jack.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
What's coming up on your channel? I know Lox has put a deadline thing out for Monday.
It's one of my favourite shows on Monday, 4
We're gonna
p.m. to
dress up
7
like
p.m.
Jim White or what? We're going to see a yellow tie and a yellow suit. What do you
I
reckon?
don't know. What we try and do is last time when we did it, I think we did 4 hours last time. I think we were scheduled for 3 this time, 4 till 7 p.m. Monday.
Yeah.
It's a merry. I love the last day of the window because you hear all those weird stories. Oh, they've been linked with this. You've been linked with that.
That's it.
And we play
People
a little
sitting
game
in car
last time.
parks.
Yeah, do you know what? We played a little game. So we encourage you to make up your bullshit rumours about who you might have seen. Like, you know, people come out saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen. I saw Jude Bellingham at Aldi on Saffron Lane. You know, he's interested in the loan. You know, whatever it is." So it's like a light-hearted, fun show. You get to talk about some of the dodgy dealings that other clubs do, as well as Leicester City stuff. So it's a general good day of chatting football.
Cheers, Manny.
Cheers, boys. Have a good weekend.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Clibbo, better late than never. But it's good to have you on as always.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
We will have to do a more show. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe Monday, deadline day. A lot to discuss.
We're definitely doing something Monday, surely, Jack.
Signings will be coming up for us, hopefully. A bit more positive, a bit more smiles on our face like the players, a lot more smiles, a lot more passion. Wait till the dust settles and the transfer window shut. That Marty party will just get started, I'm telling you now. And we'll go strength to strength. Right now, we've grinded out results, you know, and that's what we need to do in games. But we'll get better improvement. But Clibbo, thanks for coming on, mate.
No problem. Take it easy, man.
Dan, thank you as always.
No worries, bud. Thank you.
See you later, mate. That is it from us then. Deadline day, aftermath show. We can do that. We can chat. We can, you know, that's what we can do. Beat Ipswich and it's ours. Yeah. 100 likes is what we're going to set out. We set it for 60. We reached 60. You guys have smashed it. Appreciate it. Hit the like button then. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Get down and do so. If you're watching this on playback, let me know your thoughts and everything we've discussed. A big 2 days now for Leicester City as the deadline day approaches for transfer deadline day. Monday, 7 p.m, the window closes. And yeah, more work for us to do at the final whistle regarding content. Go and check out the matchday vlog if you haven't checked out already. A solid win and a big 3 points. But now, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of the night, wherever you're up to. Have a great weekend as well if I don't see you again. And up the Foxes.